gift of the Sun God. Mama Ocllo legend has it that the Sun God Inti sent his two children, Manco Capac and his sister Mama Ocllo, to Earth to bring civilization to humanity. The Sun God gave them a golden scepter and a golden pair of scissors as symbols of their power to transform the world. Manco Capac and Mama Ocllo wandered the Earth for a long time. Finally, they arrived in the Cusco Valley in what is now Peru. This was the sacred place shown to them by the Sun God, where a new empire would be founded. Manco Capac thrust his golden scepter into the ground. Water gushed from the ground, creating a large lake in the center of Cusco. This lake is considered a symbol of Lake Titicaca, which would become the center of the Inca Empire. Mama Ocllo, with her golden scissors, wove the first thread. This thread is considered the beginning of the art of weaving in Inca society. Mama Ocllo taught not only weaving, but also agriculture, cooking, and other crafts to the people. She emphasized that women should be the pillars of society and have equal rights with men. Manco Capac and Mama Ocllo founded a city in Cusco and united the surrounding peoples, laying the foundation for the Inca Empire. Manco Capac became emperor, and Mama Ocllo stood by his side as empress. Together, they brought justice, peace, and prosperity to the Inca people. The Inca people revered Manco Capac and Mama Ocllo as gods and worshipped them. As the empire grew, the teachings of Manco Capac and Mama Ocllo spread throughout the Andes Mountains. The Inca Empire became one of the largest and most advanced civilizations in the world. Ayar Manco, the Quipu Master. In the heart of Cusco, in a small workshop, lived Ayar Manco, the most skilled Quipu Master in the village. He skillfully wove colorful cords, capturing the entire history of the Inca people, their victories, losses, tax records, and even their daily lives in these colorful knots. Each knot had a meaning, each color a story. One day, a young warrior named Pachacuti came to the village. He had returned victorious from a great battle and wanted to have this victory recorded on Quipu. Ayar Manco invited Pachacuti to his workshop and began to listen to all the details of the battle. He carefully noted how the battle had begun, which enemies they had faced, and which acts of heroism had been performed. Then, taking his colored cords, he began to weave all the excitement of the battle and the joy of victory into the knots. Ayar Manco recorded not only the battles, but also all the important events of the village on the Quipu. The founding of the village, the first harvest, droughts, diseases, everything. Thus, the village's memory was kept alive thanks to this miraculous system of colored cords. One day, there was a great earthquake. The village was destroyed. Houses collapsed, people died, and most of the Quipus turned to dust. However, Ayar Manco's most valuable Quipu remained unaffected by the earthquake. This Quipu contained all the historical records of the village. After the earthquake, the villagers came together again. Ayar Manco took out his Quipu and told them their history, how the village was founded, how their ancestors lived, and what difficulties they faced. The Quipus reminded them who they were and gave them hope for the future. Ayar Manco continued to make Quipus until the end of his life. Thanks to him, the culture and history of the Inca people were passed down from generation to generation. Quipus became the most important legacy of the Inca civilization. Inti and the Golden Temple. Once upon a time, in a land high up in the mountains, there lived a very special sun god named Inti. Inti was the most important god to the Inca people, who believed he was the creator of everything. They built a magnificent golden temple for him called Coricancha, which means golden courtyard. Inti was so bright and warm that he made the flowers bloom and the corn grow tall. The Inca people loved Inti very much and would offer him food and gold to show their gratitude. The Inca emperor, who was believed to be Inti's son, lived in a palace right next to the golden temple. Every morning, the people would gather in the square in front of the temple to greet Inti as he rose in the sky. They would sing songs and play music, and the priests would offer sacrifices to the sun god. Inti would smile down on them, warming their hearts and giving them hope. One day, a great storm swept over the land. The wind howled and the rain poured down, and the people were afraid that Inti was angry with them. But when the storm finally passed, they looked up at the sky and saw Inti shining brightly. They knew that he had forgiven them and would continue to watch over them. The condor's flight once, in the heart of the Andes, where snow-capped mountains kissed the sky, lived a young Inca boy named Atahualpa. He was fascinated by the majestic condors that soared above, their enormous wingspans casting shadows on the land below. The condors were more than just birds to the Inca. They were sacred beings, messengers of the gods. Atahualpa dreamed of flying like the condors, of soaring above the clouds and seeing the world from their perspective. One day, an ancient shaman took Atahualpa to a sacred cave. Inside, the walls were adorned with intricate carvings depicting condors and other mythical creatures. The shaman told Atahualpa, the condor, or kuntul, is a symbol of power, freedom, and heights. It is said that if one connects with the spirit of the condor, they can unlock their own potential and soar to new heights. As Atahualpa meditated in the cave, he felt a powerful connection to the condors. He closed his eyes and imagined himself as one of them, soaring through the sky. When he opened his eyes, he felt lighter and more free than ever before. He stood up and ran to the edge of the cliff, spreading his arms wide as if he were winged. With a leap of faith, he jumped. As he fell, he felt a strange sensation as if he were being lifted up by an invisible force. Suddenly, he was flying. He soared through the sky alongside the condors. From his lofty perch, he could see for miles. He saw the sprawling Inca Empire, the lush valleys, and the snow-capped peaks. He felt a deep sense of peace and belonging. When it was time to return, Atahualpa gently descended back to the ground. He knew that he would never forget his flight with the condors. The experience had changed him forever. He had learned the true meaning of freedom and had come to understand his place in the world. The Potter's Secret. Imagine a small Mochica village nestled in the Andes Mountains. A young boy named Ocllo watches his mother, a skilled potter, shape clay into intricate designs. She tells him tales of the gods who created the world from clay. Ocllo is fascinated. One day, while playing near a sacred river, he finds a peculiar clay. It's softer than any he's ever felt. He takes it home and begins to shape it. To his surprise, the clay seems to move and change on its own. As he works, he hears a whisper. It's the voice of the creator god. The god reveals that the clay holds the power to bring his creations to life. Excited, Ocllo continues to shape the clay. He creates animals, people, and even a small village. With each creation, the god's voice grows stronger. Finally, Ocllo shapes a pot that is a perfect replica of the sacred river. As he finishes, the pot begins to glow. Water pours from it, filling the village with life. The villagers are amazed and grateful. Ocllo becomes known as the chosen one, the potter who can bring the god's creations to